It's been a bit of a rough century for DC. There were some undoubtedly high highs with the full realization of the Dark Knight trilogy, but after years of disappointing films and behind-the-scenes turbulence throughout the Snyderverse era, it became clear that DC needed to be shaken up. Enter James Gunn and Peter Safran. At the time of their hiring as co-CEOs in 2022, James Gunn was coming off of directing The Suicide Squad for DC and Warner Brothers, and Peter Safran was a DC veteran himself, producing movies like Aquaman and Shazam. They got off to a hot start with James Gunn's Superman in 2025.
This shit means something to me, man.
The movie wasn't perfect, but it was widely seen as a success, bolstering high critical and audience scores and over $600 million at the worldwide box office. They had one win under their belt, but the merit of the DC universe was never going to rest solely on James Gunn's directing shoulders. Rather, the new DC universe would be made or broken by James Gunn and Peter Safran's ability to bring in other talented creatives to work on filmmaker-driven stories that resonate with audiences and tell a coherent, overarching story across films and television. With the release of Supergirl, we're getting our first taste of what the DC universe looks like when James Gunn isn't in the director's chair. Supergirl is directed by Craig Gillespie and written by Anna Nogueira, and sees Millie Alcock step into the role for the character's first film adaptation since 1984, when James Gunn dropped the slate for his vision of a new DC. I was a sophomore in college, watching from the Student Activity Center in UT Austin. I remember being so intrigued by the kinds of stories that he was aiming to tell, and how he would be putting a spotlight on underutilized and lesser-known characters. As a fan of Superman, Green Lantern, and many of the characters throughout the DC universe, I was most excited for the possibility of a world in which DC doesn't have to play second fiddle to Marvel. After 3.5 years, we're 2 movies and 2 seasons of TV into Jimmy and Pete's big DC world. So, that begs the question, how are we doing? Was Supergirl a worthy second entry in the new DC universe? Are the days of DC playing catch-up with the dominance of Marvel Studios finally over? Should they quit and restore the Snyderverse? Norman and I have enlisted the help of content creator and friend of the podcast, Jatavian, to discuss Supergirl and the new DC universe. Sneak in with us, and let's go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the Sneaking Into the Movies podcast. I'm Max Nathan.
And I'm Norman Davis. And this week we are once again joined by
Jatavian, happy to be here. I wish it was under better circumstances, but we're here.
We do too. So we're talking about Supergirl today, guys. We have all read the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic that this movie is based on. All fans here, I'm assuming?
Absolutely.
We've talked about this
pretty good stuff,
Yep.
I'm not a huge Tom King guy, but I really like Woman of Tomorrow.
Since you guys are bigger comic book guys than I am, I'm a comic book, guy myself, but y'all are pros. I must admit. Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about how y'all came across Woman of Tomorrow and what y'all's relationship is to that story. Norman, why don't you start?
I think I just heard everyone talking about it. It was kind of like, and I don't read comics as much as I used to, but at that point it was probably like my lowest point. And yeah, everyone just kept talking about it. I kept hearing amazing things, so I just thought I'd check it out, and like I fell in love with it. Honestly, it's really like the only solo Supergirl story I've read, which I guess doesn't give me great perspective on the entire character. I've seen her in other stuff, but I think it's fantastic. It's a really cool kind of, from what I understand, reinvention of the character in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's cool. And I was excited that they seem to be adapting this for the movie. So they said. What about you, Jay?
Kind of same. It was one of the first books I bought when I started building my collection again back here. And I was trying to get into Superman, I think, as the movie was coming out last year. And I was like, okay, like maybe I can finally figure out this character. And then Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is just something I kept on seeing over and over. I think it's one of those comics that really has captured this particular generation. And yeah, when I read it, I just fell in love. Like the artwork is amazing, but it also blends like this weird like fantasy folk tale and then like the cliche lone wolf and cub, but it works. Like it actually is effective. And um I don't know. When I heard that they were adapting this story into a movie, I could see it. I was like, this is perfect. This is a great way to introduce a whole new legion of fans to a character that should deserve a little bit more praise, a little bit more limelight. And maybe if they would have got a woman director, maybe this is more woman led. But yeah, I was excited going into this.
Yeah.
I would say
Mhm.
in the last probably 10 years, I don't know if this is crazy to say, but probably other than like Absolute Batman, this is probably like
For
DC's
real,
this is
I
probably
agree.
DC's biggest book, cultural footprint comic wise, which comics have very, very dwindling cultural relevancy for how big these movies are.
Mhm.
I
But yeah, Woman of
completely
Tomorrow,
agree.
it's one of those ones you hear about. It's one of those ones that people who don't pick up comic books will ask you about. Yeah, it's a really good. It should be a bigger deal that they're making a movie about this, but
I will say it's
alas.
interesting too because when I was reading it again, it does kind of feel a little inaccessible. Like if you're just jumping into comics and this is what you
It's a
read,
lot. It could really be
it's
a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
But again, I think like that's a testament to how well the execution is of this story in the comic. And I think that's what's sad is that like now I'm hearing people again, we'll get into the movie, but it's just like, man, like you really messed this one up. But
Yeah, so I guess that can lead into the movie. I mean, we rarely, the thing is like we rarely see comic book movies that are just straight up adaptations of comic book source material. It's a very rare thing, and this movie was promised to be an adaptation of that Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow story that we have all read, and yet the film isn't really that story, despite how much they talked about that comic book run in the lead up to the release of this movie. Um, so what did we actually get here, guys? Like, what do we have here with this Supergirl movie?
We got a movie that if it came out 10 years ago, everyone would have loved it and it would have done incredibly well. It feels like a movie out of time, for me at least.
hmm, hmm.
Um,
The way I'd answer that question, I think Supergirl 2026 is a movie that is scared of its source material in
Mm,
every single way. It is
hmm.
scared to platform its main character. It is scared to try to be unique in any way. So it leans on its Gunnisms. It leans on male
For sure.
characters that have no reason to be in this film. And it leans on stuff that looks familiar to a superhero fan base, but isn't anything that's reinventing the wheel.
yep,
Definitely.
pretty
I
by the books.
Yes, very by the books to its detriment.
I am just gonna, come out and say how I felt about this movie. So, in the lead up, I Norman and I have talked about this a lot. I mean, Superman was a big movie for the podcast, and this whole DC James Gunn DC universe is one of the bigger things that we've been following throughout the history of this podcast. And so, this is a movie I've gone on a journey with. When Superman came out, I was saying some crazy shit looking back. I said after Superman came out that this movie was going to be bigger and better than Superman, bigger financially. That is a statement that is very, very wrong today, and I probably, shouldn't even be bringing it up. It makes me look
I'd like
awful.
to point
So,
out, we got it on video that when he said that even a year ago, I was like, what the fuck? For as much as I
yeah.
love this
Yeah,
comic too.
So that was a bit
yeah.
outlandish, and I am very displeased to say. I mean, all of that stuff. I got a lot more negative after seeing the trailers for this movie. I was not excited to see this movie, and the movie was somehow infinitely worse than I was expecting it to be. I
Mm,
almost want to give this movie an incomplete grade if I were to give it one, because it is impossible to see anything happening in this goddamn movie. First movie ever to use no lights on set. What the fuck was going on? I couldn't see
that's really
anything.
fair. Yeah, that's
I
fair.
I thought it was just visually abominable. I texted Norman after the movie and I said, this shit makes Deadpool and Wolverine look like Dune.
That is the worst statement you've ever made, by the way. I didn't think this movie was very good. It was better looking than that movie. It was better in that movie in like every way, pretty much.
You know what
Yeah,
we can give? We can give praise to the way the aliens looked. I thought
that was
they
all
were
very cool, practical stuff.
Yeah, they tried. They really
Yeah.
tried with that. Y'all are gonna make me defend this movie in some way. I think
It's possible. See, because I am about as negative as you could be on this movie. Like
it
even with
sounds
the
like it.
aliens, I thought like with the aliens, we usually like I usually come to the defense of practical effects every time. Like I think usually they look better than doing everything with CGI and stuff like that. Like doing things practical tends to look better. I thought these aliens looked like disgusting in a way that was like actually like repulsive in a way that was like real. Like I did not like looking at these guys, and a lot of that has to do with the way the movie is shot. I admit that. Like that is not like I'm sure like in isolation or maybe in a different movie, these creatures are like incredible works of art. In this movie, I thought they were really gross and disgusting. They don't look like they're going for a Star Wars Guardians of the Galaxy type feel with like
I think
they're
they're
in a
going
bus
for gross and
they're-
disgusting.
Yeah, I think they're
Like
going
more
for
than
gross and
dang,
disgusting.
you're just gonna have me and Jay defending this movie, man.
No,
Maybe.
for real. Yeah.
Like more than
Maybe.
Star Wars, but yeah, like they do look really gross. Like a lot of it is just like people with disgusting things on their face.
So you
Yeah.
guys
Even what
liked
they did to Krem,
you guys liked the way that the aliens looked in the movie?
thought it was
I
pretty cool.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I thought, especially because again, having connection to the comic, I just appreciated that they really tried to like make you feel like you were experiencing something different. Like these
Sure.
are different species, and with that, not all of them are going to look the best. And
Yes.
some of them can be nice, even if they look crazy. Some of them can look crazy and
Yeah.
be crazy. Some of them can sound like Seth Rogen. Like cool.
I liked
sure.
him. I like
I,
little
I
Seth
think
Rogen.
most people liked most people liked him. I will say maybe what's a negative I have that people haven't said. I mean, I think for me, what I really struggle with this movie is like, I think there's been mixed stuff on Lobo, on how people view him as a character,
Sure.
and I think for me, I find him to be very. I wish Jason Momoa was a little younger. I will say that. I think it's very noticeable. This is an older man trying to be this character.
Mhm.
But also, I just feel like his character takes away from so much of like the impact of what Supergirl is doing in this story. Like yeah, we can talk about like the cinematography and it's not doing anything crazy. And Max, you obviously have your more negative, spin on
Yes.
that. But when it comes to like the story, which is the most important thing with this adaptation, it's like they almost just chose to be like, I don't know if we can do this, so let's just make sure we can appease the men who already are going to hate on this. It's like, oh, okay.
That's really the problem with it at the end of the day. This is a movie that is really for no one when you boil it all down, because men are
I
the only
agree with you
people
there.
that are going to see this, and it's not really a movie that is designed for men, really. It kind of ends up being a movie that is for men at the end of the day, because men are the only ones who are going to go see it, because there's nothing in this movie that would get anyone other than us, basically the nerds, to
So
go watch
actually-
this.
in my theater, there was like a dad with his daughter, and
Yeah.
they left halfway through. But also,
Holy shit.
they also like this movie. I mean, ideally, you make this movie for like little girls, right? It's
Yeah.
about sex trafficking. Like
Yes.
Why?
that's
Why
kinda-
is it
yeah.
about that? Why-
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and this is not this is not the first female-led comic book movie to do that, even.
Or the first James Gunn one, bro. Gun
Let's talk
Files,
about it.
Gun Files.
What,
Let's
talk
talk about
about
it.
it.
what was the other one?
Guardians
What was the other
3,
James Gunn?
Guardians 3.
Oh,
just
yeah, there
randomly a
was
bunch of
that.
little kids.
Let's
Well,
talk
there's
about
that. But they also
Release the Gun
do
Files,
this.
bro.
They also do this in Black Widow. I don't know if you guys remember anything about that movie.
It makes
that
more.
was another
It makes sense in that movie though, more than Guardians or
a,
Supergirl.
a little more, but why is it? I just want to ask this question: like, why is it that is the go-to when you have seemingly this is like man directing a female superhero movie thing? Like, I don't know what this is, but this has happened more than once. It's very, very fucking odd.
I
Like,
think
I don't.
like my immediately like thought would be like it's like the worst thing they could imagine.
Yes.
It's like the most irredeemable thing you could do, especially if you're trying to get women in the theater, is make the villains sex traffickers.
I think, yeah, I think it might boil down to that very like narrow way of thinking as because like if you're a dude who has no idea how to make a Supergirl movie, you might think to yourself like, oh, what's scary to women? Sex trafficking. And like that's the end of the thought bubble. And
No,
it's like
I think it is, yeah, because like we don't have women's brains, but we know it's something like women have to worry about literally all the time, always. So yeah, make the villains sex traffickers.
That's
then
the thing about
it's the most evil thing you could do.
yeah. And that's the core problem of this movie is that the creatives behind the movie didn't give any thought to the idea of what a Supergirl movie could be. And the blueprint's right there. The comic book's right there. The comic book's good. And they said they were going to adapt it, and they don't really do it.
Even
pretty inexplicable.
Even if this adaptation would have been butchered no matter what, if I'm James Gunn, I'm calling Greta Gerwig. I'm calling Nia DaCosta. And I'm saying,
Sure.
hey, like, can you just make this movie and do whatever you want to do with it, honestly? But just make it for y'all. That's the goal, like the main goal.
Yeah.
I was just talking about this with my roommate the other day about how I think like one of the biggest issues that we quickly realized with the James Gunn DC thing is like, and this sounds really mean, but he can't get that level of talent to want to make like those people don't want to make these superhero movies because it's just been horror stories for the past 20 years that
yeah. And look at what Nia DaCosta just did when she's not doing one. You know, like Bone Temple is my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah. I honestly think you could even throw it back to Nia DaCosta's work in the Marvels. Norman and I both are defenders of that movie. I think that's probably the best female-led superhero movie.
Yeah.
And I don't say that as like I don't say that to, say that all of these movies are bad and like that's the best one of all of them. I think that movie's good. Like I think that movie's directed really well. It's fun, and you finally get to see the potential of Brie Larson as Captain Marvel in that movie. In the first movie, she is basically doing a Tony Stark impersonation, and that is kind of the blueprint for every female superhero since then. Like it's kind of insane that people are still doing this, and Supergirl, in a sense, embodies some of those qualities that I don't really like that they attribute to a character like this very lazily, in my opinion. I think, like, in the comic book, for example, like, she does have some of these traits. She does get drunk. That is a characteristic that she has in the comics, but it doesn't feel like she is like an absolute mess in that comic. She still feels like she's getting drunk to kind of like ease her, for lack of a better term, trauma. Like she is just a trauma-filled person who has to deal with the fact that, she grew up on a chunk of Krypton that, it died ultimately, even after Krypton blew up. Her life sucks, and she drinks to sort of like ease that pain and forget about that. But she never really felt to me in the comic book, and I don't know if you guys would disagree with this. I want to ask you guys in a minute, but she always felt poised to me. She always felt like the most poised person in the room in any scenario in that comic book. And that was part of what made her so appealing to me, is the fact that, like, yes, she was messy, but she was also extremely competent and poised and a role model.
I think that's the difference with this movie. Because
Hmm.
I definitely want to answer that question. The reason why in the book it feels different is because the character carries the responsibility of having Ruthie around her.
Hmm.
Supergirl in this movie, and it goes back to what you were saying before, it doesn't really make choices. Like, if you want to make her a mess, then fully go in on that. But they kind of half step that. But they don't
I
also make Supergirl like in the comic, she knows that Ruthie is looking up to her. She
hmm
knows that Ruthie is watching her every move. And
hmm
so you see her, even with Ruthie being the main character, you see Supergirl turn it on. You see her try to contain her anger, contain her frustration. You see her constantly having to like to hold things in, which is something women do. And I
hmm
think that's what like the metaphorical nature of this story is showing the hidden strength in a young woman from the perspective of a young girl. And that's what this story doesn't in the movie, that's what the story doesn't really execute.
I totally agree with you, and I feel like I felt in this movie that she didn't even really give a fuck about Ruthie. It felt like she was barely there most of the time.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
and the way that I'm not, I don't think I was crazy about this part of the comic book either. Full transparency, but the way that they deliver Supergirl's backstory in this movie as well is, they in the movie it's so that her and the comic book, like that's where Ruthie and Supergirl kind of come together. Like that's where they can
Yeah,
relate is
yeah.
their dark past. Um, in this movie, it just felt like I was like so fucking bored when that segment of the movie was happening. They just sort of like cut to it. She's just kind of like explaining her backstory. We go to it, and it's like it's not that interesting. We kind of hear some like DC Universe member berries where the Zor-El says like, "Oh, that's Kal-El, the kid that Jor-El sent to take
Conquer
over
planets.
Earth
Yeah.
or whatever."
did
Eh,
y'all did y'all notice the like how Viltrumite inspired Krypton looked?
I
Like,
was gonna say, I think this whole entire
Yeah.
storyline is very Invincible inspired. Um,
yeah. Which is
and
to
I'm
his detriment again, I would say.
yeah, I you know I know you're Jay. You're probably the biggest fan of Invincible among us. I know.
Okay.
Norman, you don't watch that show, right?
No, I've read all of it, but I don't watch the show.
Yeah,
Nice. Okay. Yes.
I I find Invincible to be a little bit too like that's not my flavor of superhero stuff. Like I really like the stuff that's closer to Superman, like the hopeful stuff. Invincible's a
Yeah.
little nihilistic for me, but I
Absolutely.
think I
Yeah,
think I
you got to
think
be in the
that
mood for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
I'm
I
always in
think
the mood.
yeah, I think with this movie, um, they seem to be laying the groundwork here for some kind of an overarching story that involves. I mean, the easiest thing you can see it linking towards is Brainiac and Man of Tomorrow. Like that feels like the AI version of whatever the Kryptonians wanted to do is going to come and like fuck
hmm
shit up in that movie. Um,
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, that seems
Yeah.
to me like what that is leading towards. Um, and we'll see if that actually works. I don't want to get too deep into like future of the DC universe yet.
Yeah. Can we talk about Millie Alcock? Just like
We
her
can let's
performance?
let's have let's have the Millie Alcock conversation.
I will say for me personally, there was a lot of talk about. I'm not even gonna go into like the looks thing. I think that's bullshit.
Yes.
But when it comes to like her as a performer, her conversation about like her height, her conversation about in the last scene in Superman where we see her drunk and all that.
Yep.
Now seeing her in the role, I will say I think she did a good job, but she didn't for me. I didn't leave this movie thinking, "Oh, that's Supergirl. Nobody else could have been her." I don't feel that way at all. I've
Mm-hmm.
heard people say that. I've heard people say that she is easily the best part of this movie. She is perfect. Everything else around her is falling
Mm-hmm.
apart. I think she's solid. She does some cool Jack Sparrow stuff in the beginning. I can feel some of her emotion in the end with like, her the stuff that she says to Ruthie. I think that they actually have some solid scenes together. It's just few and
Yeah.
far between. But I think her chemistry with Lobo was ass. I think her and the
Oh
action
yeah.
scenes kind of suck. And I think every moment that she was supposed to be like hopeful and I was supposed to like have a, oh my god, it's Supergirl. I never felt that. So that's my thoughts on her performance.
Which, in my
Yeah.
opinion, is the most important thing when making a superhero movie. Norman, go ahead.
I don't really put that on her though. Like I
I
understand
can't
where
put
you're
it all
coming
on
from.
her. You're right. You're
No,
right.
Nope.
I would put most because I do think she was one of the better parts of this movie.
Mhm. I agree. I
Yeah, I
don't
just
think it's
think
a super high bar.
no for sure, and yeah, I think like with the action, like that's bad directing, and like a lot of the lines, this movie is a terrible script.
Hmm.
I
Like
agree.
I think
I
she
agree.
did. I'm not super well versed on Millie Alcock. I watched the first season of House of the Dragon, but I think she did the best with what she could. And I'm
Okay.
more excited to see her in something like Man of Tomorrow, where it seems like she'll have a bigger
The
role
ensemble. Yeah, I
um,
think that would help.
in a
I will
probably well
say
written, well
this.
directed movie.
I will say this. I think that's where I also differ from most people. Those scenes didn't move me like that. Those scenes with her and David Corn Sweat, I wasn't like, oh wow, this chemistry, or oh wow,
No. Yeah.
Superman. I promise you,
I
and maybe because of my connection to the comic, but like I really didn't give a damn so many times when they were on
Yeah.
screen.
I was
Again, this is me
so
personally.
bored throughout the movie that when David Cornsweat shows up in the middle of the movie, that was like the one time I found myself going like, Superman.
I've heard that. I've heard
I love
that. Yeah.
Superman.
He really is like I hate to be that guy, you know, when we're talking about the Supergirl movie, but like he's so good. Like
Yeah.
the couple scenes in this movie. I mean, all of them are in the trailer except for the last one.
Mhm.
But he's just so good. He's perfect.
He's
Yeah.
a super likable actor. I want to see him in more stuff. I hope that they don't Christopher Reeve him, where like they kind of just put him in a box and it's like this is all you are. Because like I think he could be a lot more.
He's
But
in
I also
Twisters. Have you seen Twisters?
I heard he was in
Well,
Twisters.
He
haven't
plays
watched
the
that.
villain in that. It's very different. He's good in it.
Kinda. He's kinda in it. He's
He
like
plays
in
a
the
total asshole.
He is an asshole. He is an asshole.
Yeah,
He gets a
that's
few
cool.
moments in that movie.
He's good in Pearl too. When I heard
Yes.
the
He is
casting,
good
I
in
was like,
Pearl.
I really liked him in Pearl. So
Yep.
Same here.
On the Millie Alcock thing,
Mhm.
I largely agree with you guys. Actually, I'm gonna zag a little bit. I don't think she's very good in the movie, but I don't think that was really within her control. I think this script is so awful that and the direction as well. Like they didn't really have a clue how to execute this character in a way that was like in a way that had any depth whatsoever. It was
they
really
didn't
like
care about her. They didn't care
No.
about the character, bro.
It was
Like
like-
that's
the only
Mm.
thing about her is that she's edgy and she gets drunk. Like what the fuck? Like what? Why? Like why was that?
who is she? Who is
Yeah,
Kara?
There's nothing going on with her. So for that reason, I think she's been served kind of like a bunch of crap. So that's not really on her.
I
That
agree
being
with all
said,
that.
and Jay, we kind of talked about this a while back.
Mhm.
I think she is a little miscast in this role.
I think that's the point, though. I think they're trying to like change how you view a strong woman,
Yes,
but it's like you could have just gotten somebody who looked more, I don't know, traditional. Like to me, like how I told you, like I think like in ideal world, but a younger Samara Weaving, I think would have been a great Supergirl.
for sure.
I
Would have been a
I
fucking
actually
nuke, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
no, I genuinely think she would have killed it. I firmly believe that.
that's a screenwriting thing though, and I agree with you. Like you could have done something really cool with that, where you're kind of like subverting the expectation of what Supergirl's supposed to be. But this movie just doesn't do it. So in this movie, I think she is. I think she's miscast, and yes, I think that Samara Weaving would have been good in this movie. I think one of the things that I took away from the comic is that, for one, when you look at the comic, she is the thing that pops in every panel. Like the comic book is pretty colorful, but she is the brightest thing in every panel usually.
Even if she doesn't feel that way, that's the point. Like you get it,
Yeah.
you get it, bro.
It's tough. I think that I think that with that being said, like I think a person with that could hold a little bit more like gravitas when they walk into a room would have been better. I don't know who that is, but the honestly, this might sound dumb. The person I was thinking about with regards to Supergirl was Victor Wembanyama. And what I mean by that is that Victor Wembanyama is a guy who when he walks into the room, you're just like, holy shit. And he is a guy that is incredibly mature for his age. He's incredibly intelligent, and he's just this person that like everybody is just bewildered by.
Gravitational pull.
Yes, and I think that Supergirl had to have some of that, some real gravitas, and I don't. That's extremely rare, I would imagine, to find in a young person like that that could play a Supergirl.
I think that's mainly on Gunn too. I mean, like Gunn's whole thing forever has been like he's punk rock, which is like alternative. You know, he's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And now, yeah, he's in charge. So all these characters that you should have a more. I'm not going to try and figure out a word for what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean. And that's why, like with the Batman thing, like I hope he never gets to make a Batman movie because he could have cast some random ass whoever.
Hear me out. Do y'all, again, everything that Max is saying, I'm like, but maybe that was the point. Like, with it doesn't mean the execution was good, but think about how y'all both talked about David Corenswet, how most people have talked about him. Gravitational pull, that's my Superman. Oh my God, he's on screen. And then with Supergirl, she does kind of blend and fade within the story, and I don't think that
I
that's
do think it's the
completely.
point.
Yeah, I don't think that's completely unintentional. Why she's a lot more reserved, a lot more. You kind of have to like. She's shorter, so like she literally could walk past you and you don't know it's Supergirl. Where David Corenswet, you see him, you're gonna know who that is instantly. So
Yeah.
I think there's purpose to it, but the movie does not choose to lean into that. It kind of just is like, do you see this? Maybe here's Lobo. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about Lobo a little more too. I think that, you know, Momoa is fine. Like it's not like, again, it's really hard to talk about this movie because I feel like everybody was just served a terrible script, and it's hard for anybody to shine in this. Like I can't really tell whether Jason Momoa is going to actually be a good Lobo going forward or not, because
Bro, we are never seeing him again. Sorry.
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. And you know, in this
That would
movie,
be
he just
so
kind of
sad.
Have y'all ever seen Krypton? The show that was on Sci-Fi.
No.
I heard of it though.
Great I don't remember the actor's name. He's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. It's like one of the only things I remember from that show is how good Lobo was in it.
I was thinking like Jason Momoa, like sure you wanted to play Lobo your whole life. I feel like somebody gave him that talking point, but sure you wanted to be that your whole life. Fair. Somebody else could have been this and been better, and also you didn't need to be in this movie. Like, both of those things just exist
it reminds
firmly
me,
in my head.
It reminds me of like Krasinski and Emily Blunt as Fantastic, Mr. Fantastic and Sue. And just like I've never really liked the fan cast. I like the Aquaman movies. I was never like, oh, Jason Momoa, you're being wasted here or whatever. Which I don't think that's what you were trying to say. But
no.
Yeah, like it didn't feel like real for me. Like it felt it's like so like fan servicey that it like feels meta in the movie. That it's like
it's the
you guys have been hating. Yeah.
It's the double consciousness of it all because we exist on the internet, you know. So like we saw this develop. We saw him be Aquaman. We saw people cast him as Lobo, do the fan edits, and now we're seeing it on the big screen. All of that experience it compounds on each other when we're watching it. So it's like we can't forget that this was a fan cast. We can't forget that 5-8 years ago he was a whole different main character. Like
2 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Like it's not, we're not far away from that. And so like casting him and to me, the problem with Lobo, that's why it really bothers me maybe the most out of anything is because it represents the big problem with this movie is that it didn't trust itself. It throws him in every scene. It takes Ruthie away from Supergirl in the Green Sun moment just to give him a moment. And it's like, who is this serving? Who is this for? It,
The
it
men who are the only people who are going to go see the movie.
yes,
I also
yes.
guarantee you, most people who have wanted him to play Lobo have never seen or read anything with
A
Lobo in
Lobo
it ever.
anything.
It's
Yeah.
just because he looks like it, and he's been saying it. But like, yeah, like you said, the whole internet thing. But like, maybe it's because I've been so tapped into these movies forever now, like since Man of Steel came out,
Mhm.
and so I've been hearing Momoa talk about it forever, and like I didn't feel that passion at all. I didn't feel like he's ever read a comic book with Lobo in it. He's probably just like, oh, I kind of look like him, and I kind of act like him. Just gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever, man. I'm smoking a cigar, man. I'm awesome, man.
I hate fan casting. I'm just gonna say it
I think
as a
it's
blanket
terrible.
statement.
Yeah, I think we have to stop. We
All
have to
the
stop.
best casting in these movies is come from when people are like, "This fucking sucks, yo."
People hated on
Yeah.
Heath Ledger. And look
People
what
hated
happened.
on Michael Keaton like 100 years ago.
People hated on Robert Pattinson.
Robert
Look what
Pattinson,
happened.
Ben Affleck.
Yes. So
S-
sometimes us as fans, we gotta shut the fuck up. We just
So mu-
have to.
Always like I don't believe I hate the fan cast. It's one of my least favorite parts about enjoying these superhero movies.
I feel like so much of the fun about these movies too is watching someone who doesn't really look like they could be that character fully embody the character in a really surprising and interesting way. I feel like when you have the fan cast, you know exactly how the guy's going to do it because everybody's been talking about how that guy acts when in real life exactly like this character, and it's like why doesn't he just do this inside the movie? And that can work. I don't think it's that interesting in most cases.
Hardly ever, but definitely not here. Like Momoa
Yeah.
reminds me of like the Kelsey brothers, where it's just like you're trying too hard.
Oh wow, that's exactly what I thought in the theater, dude.
It's
Kelsey
brothers.
brothers.
It literally like made me think of Travis Kelsey at that Cavs game, like holding
is
up a beer and chugging it, like he was the first one to ever do it.
No bullshit. That is what I thought. I was like, he looks like just another Kelsey brother on screen. Like, what am I watching
just
right
like
now?
fake hype, just like yell and
Fake
drink beer,
hype.
and like that's what being crazy and different is. And
Yeah.
like I hate it, and yeah,
Bro,
that's how I feel about Jason Momoa.
He saved Supergirl at the end of this movie.
Yeah,
He saves the
does.
day. I remember watching that. I was like, that was because
Good thing he
people
was
get
here.
mad at right. People get mad at the Krim moment at her killing him. Sure. The moment that really pissed me off was when he saved her. I was like, wow, like you really just said like fuck giving her a moment. Fuck like actually having her earn
yeah.
moments. This is the most I've cursed on this podcast because I'm actually upset.
It's a really annoying movie.
It's
Like,
really annoying.
In the movie too, like the actual ending where she does kill Krem, and she kind of, this happens in the comic too, where she convinces Ruthie that she shouldn't kill Krem, right?
Mhm.
Or is Ruthie the one that? No, Ruthie is the one that begs Supergirl not to do it, right? Isn't that what happens? I'm pretty sure that's what I think. It's Ruthie begs like Supergirl's gonna do it, and Ruthie's like, "Wait, don't do it. Actually, I've changed." And then they put him in the Phantom Zone, and then he comes back at the end, and then Ruthie kills him.
It's such a different story. It's hard to remember, but
Yeah.
it does get to a point where the Supergirl's it's a lot more personal for her what's happening, and that does lead to her wanting to kill Krim. I do vaguely remember Ruthie being a part of the "don't do this" or whatever, and they put him in the Phantom Zone and all that.
Yeah, but in this movie, they don't really do any of the work they did in the comics. So that whole conversation between Supergirl and Ruthie, where Supergirl's like, "No, don't do this. If you kill him, this is gonna stay with you forever." And it's like, bro, he killed her parents. Like it's gonna stay with her forever. I think that argument most of the time in like tons of movies do this. That's a stupid ass thing. If you killed my fucking family, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, what are we talking about?
Like, Max, you've killed people before, so like, how do you feel watching a movie? What does Mike Ehrmantraut say on Better Call Saul? One day you'll wake up, brush your teeth, and you'll realize you hadn't think about it.
Mm.
That's how you forget.
Hey, we need Mike Ehrmantraut in
Yeah.
this in the DCU.
Mike Ehrmantraut should have been
He should have
Lobo.
played Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He's gonna play Mr. Mixelpick, bro. Trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did this is a little tangent, but you brought up Lex Luthor and I heard this on the podcast. I heard somebody say that it would have been really interesting to have Lex Luthor be black in the DCU because of where like how kind of giving an ode to the animated series because of if we're looking at the world right now of the DCU, we have two Kryptonians now that are just perfect white people that seem good, but they obviously they come from a planet where they can think about conquering planets.
Yeah.
I think that having a racial element actually could have been like it could have been a really cool through line for Lex to always fall back on. It's like no matter what, it can always be like, but these people are too powerful, and look at but it's just white on white crime, which is fine. I guess that would have been.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see James Gunn ever talk about race.
No, not
I was
James
going to
Gunn.
say that. I was probably not the guy.
Not James Gunn, no sir. Yeah, you're right.
I like where you're coming from though.
Yeah.
One other important element of the movie that we have to talk about is the licensed music.
That's not where I thought you were going.
I've been waiting for this.
So this movie is produced by James Gunn, obviously, and they try to insert a lot of the Gunnisms into this movie. One of them being the licensed music that plays throughout, and Supergirl even gets some those Walkman headphones that Peter Quill has in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and a little iPod, and she plays some songs.
Why is she using an iPod?
Yeah, this was awful. Like this was the first time. James Gunn makes it work every time. I feel like there's rarely been a time in those movies. Maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Superman has a terrible needle job, bro.
Which one?
The one that plays during the Mr. Terrific action scene where they do like.
But that was what everybody was talking about. Like that one got people going.
I disagree with that. Actually. I didn't like that needle drop that much, but I would say I think Guardians 2 has some ones where I'm like,
no, you don't mean that. You don't mean that. That's his best one, bro. I got my George Harrison poster right there, man. Come on.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I like Guardians 2. I was a defender when people hated that movie, but like the needle drops in particular, I feel like they are a little. They overstay their welcome, and I think that's something that Gunn has. That's the problem with like a director who really is good at what he does. He finds a way to make you annoyed by the things that he's good at. And I think Peacemaker season 2 is one of those moments too where I was like, this is all the stuff that he's been doing for years, but it's just in this context, I hate it.
That's the worst James Gunn needle drop. That might even be worse than Supergirl, bro.
I think Peacemaker season 2 is the worst.
Yeah, when they have like the eagerly fight all those people and then they just have them slow-mo walk to a song for like 45 seconds.
Yes.
I was like, dude.
The last episode just being a music video.
Yeah, like this is, I mean, that's the issue when you get an alt 50-year-old guy to try to make cool stuff.
Yep.
That's lame, Gramps. Like, I'm sorry.
No, it is. It
is, bro.
I'll tell you what's even lamer is when Craig Gillespie is directing and it just doesn't come together in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't even feel like the music is supposed to be there or like any song at all.
James Gunn actually picked the needle drops for this movie. Specifically.
Did he really?
Craig Gillespie already threw him under the bus. So let me explain this. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, an interview with him. Getting messy already. Peter Safran also already put out a statement.
I saw that.
How this movie
I knew it.
Which those two guys need to stay the fuck off the internet, especially James Gunn. That's the
God. He was pissing me off on his internet run. He was pissing me off.
He's still on the internet run, and like that is the issue because he promises these things for years and just talks about them so much because he's always on his damn phone, and then it doesn't live up. But okay, back to the needle drop thing. Totally got off topic. Infamously, probably the one thing this movie will really be remembered for is that last needle drop. The middle, slowed acoustic lady vocals. They put that in last week. And it was
Holy fuck.
It was James Gunn's pick.
They
went through over 45 songs.
That's
the one you chose.
That's the one you chose. That's James Gunn, man. This movie went through 3 different composers, which I've never heard of ever. Which I remember I texted at the Max and I was like, there might be some red flags here. Because how does a movie go through 3 composers?
Here's what I'll say about the needle drop, the infamous needle drop. People are gonna hate it for years to come. I think part of it's just easier for people to hate on this particular movie because of the James Gunn of it all, and also because of the woman lead of it all. I think also the music makes it not only like it cheapens the moment, but it also makes it feel very Disney Channel original. As it like is sweeping around Ruthie's face and she's watching all this destruction. It just feels like I'm watching Descendants. But I also
Damn.
think, no, I really don't like this movie.
Put that on the poster.
I also think that I don't hate it as much as other people. Now, maybe it's because I went into it knowing there's an infamous needle drop. Maybe. But when I was watching the scene, I was like, this isn't as terrible as people say it is.
I totally agree with you, by the way.
Good. Okay. But I think it isn't good. It isn't good.
I think I was so detached from everything by that point that it didn't really like ruin the movie for me, but I thought it was like a joke. I was like, you know, it kind of reminded me of when like Palpatine sucks the life out of Rey and Kylo in episode 9 and he gets a cool red shirt when that happens. And I was like,
never watched that movie. Shit. That sounds awful.
That movie sucks.
Wow.
This movie I thought was also in a similar vein of ass.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was talking about this with Preston earlier because we went and saw it. I feel like I didn't like this movie. I didn't think it's very good. I'm probably the most positive here, it seems like. I think, Jay, you're a little closer than me. Max. I was thinking about it. Other than Superman, this is probably still the best DC movie since the Batman. It's not a great couple.
I disagree.
What else? What else is in that mix?
The Flash, Blue Beetle, Shazam 2.
I like those movies.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Since the Batman.
Okay, my bad.
That was 2022.
Probably the best DC movie since that.
I would agree, actually. I would agree.
Yeah.
That's not saying anything good, but that's saying something.
I'm just gonna, come out in support of the trash here, the forgotten trash. I thought Black Adam was fun, and there were cool costumes in that movie.
How can you say this movie's ugly? You're about to name like 4 of the ugliest looking movies.
Black Adam was kind of cool.
That movie's atrocious, bro. That movie is atrocious.
Hawkman, come on, Aldous Hodge.
Nah.
Little Henry Winkler cameo. Come on. Black Adam. Hierarchy of power is about to change, baby.
Hierarchy of power.
Yeah.
The hierarchy.
I just saw that video again of when he's doing press for Black Adam, and they're like, "Which Joker would you like to meet as Black Adam?" And he says Barry Keoghan. It's the funniest thing ever. He's like, I've been a big Barry advocate. No, you haven't, bro. He's like LeBron, bro. The way he lies, it's so funny.
Being a DC fan is hell, bro.
You get 2 months of good stuff at a time, and then it's just terrible. Like if you try to be a DC fan for more than 6 months, they kill you.
The Rock really was holding this IP hostage. He said, "Let me do whatever I want." Bro, please. That is insane.
That was the funniest era ever. Like
that was hilarious,
dude. Like the articles come when he was like using Henry Cavill, and they're like, Henry Cavill was used as a pawn. Like they were talking about it like Game of Thrones.
No,
like
but
that picture
was though. It's really sad. And then James Gunn was
Henry
like,
Cavill, but yeah,
he's on some weird shit. But James Gunn was like, I had to fire him again. It's like that's crazy.
Yeah, that was the crazy part too, because Henry Cavill like put out that video where he was like, "I'm back, guys. I'm back as Superman," and then like 2 days later, they're like, there's still room for him to pop up.
Mm.
Same with the Gal Gadot thing when they were like, yeah, we met with Gal and told her she's in great hands.
Yeah.
I just read that like David Ellison was talking about how excited they are to keep Peter Safran and James Gunn around. I'm like, this is going to age hilariously.
Yeah.
I got two questions I want to ask y'all.
Yeah.
That kind
Wait, real quick.
go-
So does any?
Yes. go ahead.
So you agree with me on this is still probably the best DC movie since Batman, other than Superman?
Yeah, I would have to say
like
so.
we-
Yeah.
Max, it sounds like you do not agree with me.
I'm a trash man. I love the trash. I literally got it on 4K right here. Blue Beetle,
No.
baby.
That's a trope, dude. That movie's
Blue
No.
Beetle.
every issue
No.
you had with this movie
No.
is like 10 times worse than Blue Beetle.
Nah,
Like, the
bro. At
characters
least
suck. That movie's hideous.
That movie is.
I don't,
Yeah,
it
you
looks-
talking about cinematography. Blue Beetle looks awful.
it looks like a Disney
It
Channel
doesn't-
movie. Like literally,
at least
takes
it
place in a
does
high
look
school.
like a Disney
It looks
Channel
like a
original
Nickelodeon
movie.
bro.
It
Like,
It does look like a Disney Channel original movie. That is better than it looking like a giant like shit smear. Like I couldn't see
I'm
fucking
taking
anything in
poo-poo
this
smears
movie.
any day, bro.
Yeah, why was brown the main color for Supergirl?
Yeah,
why is
which
that
is
the
so
color they
weird.
chose to use?
The comic is all like teals and pinks. It's like what was the
Yeah.
thinking?
Notoriously the most, like,
Where's
colorful.
brown at?
Yeah.
This movie should have looked like Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And I
sure.
think I said that when that first trailer came out.
You needed to get a director that really cared about like scope and spectacle. That's
Just-
really like.
None of those people want to make superhero movies. It's the thing.
And
You're not
Also,
wrong. You're not wrong.
bring that cover back out. Bring the cover back up. Supergirl is holding a fucking sword on that picture. That is one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. Not one moment of this movie is cooler than that single image right there. She rides a Pegasus in that book. There's no Pegasus in the movie. Pegasuses are cool. Supergirl riding a Pegasus wielding a sword, it's fucking cool.
I don't know.
They didn't
This
do
guy-
any of that.
This guy thinks Blue Beetle's cool.
I do. I
Right.
do. I
The
thought
sword
Black
didn't
Adam
even
was
look-
fun.
The sword didn't even look that cool in the movie. It looked like
No.
rubbery and plastic. When she whipped it out, it started flipping around. I was like, bro, like
Didn't
y'all
even
don't
do anything with it.
You don't even care.
No.
Guys, can I make a hot take?
Go
Yeah,
for
I
it.
don't think it's that hot, but I think it might be. I think it might be in this corner here.
Mhm.
It's been a year. I love it to death. Superman's an ugly ass movie too.
I can't say ugly. I can't say ugly. I will say I think Superman. Every time I've watched it, watched it the first time, 7 out of 10. Watched it in IMAX, 9 out of 10. Got lost within it. Watched it with my mom on the couch. That movie is not well written. That movie has good moments, but that movie is really stupid. Like really dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm still not
it's-
sold on the Jor-El stuff either.
We'll see how
Fair,
they deal with that.
fair.
That's
Because now you gotta
think
land that plane. Because now you've done it twice. Now it's he's conqueror of worlds. Okay, bro.
they're
now you
clearly
actually have
setting
to-
something.
You have to
That's
do
like
something with that.
that's
Brainiac's
like-
gonna be like, "You didn't stand on business, bro."
Yeah.
For real. Yeah, it's stupid as fuck.
I think
Oh,
that
man.
Superman looks fun. I would say. I don't think it's a
I
very
like how it
technically
looks.
impressive movie. I think it looks how that movie should look. It's not the best looking movie in the world, but I like the ultra wide lenses they were using. It makes Superman
Yeah.
look really like big in the universe, and I think that I just like that movie. I like the color palette they use, the color grade where it's like all blue and yellow and stuff.
I think it takes so much away from that suit. Like if you look at that suit, even in this movie, it felt like, but especially in like pictures and behind the scenes, like that suit looks so much more vibrant and colorful. And they say it in this movie, we wear the colorful suits, people know we're good. And I think you lose so much of that in that like bluish tint that they kind of have over Superman. But I know there's it's the same cinematographer as the Flash, so even going into it, I was kind of like, eh. They got a new guy.
I think there's parts of the Flash that look good to me. I think like there's parts of the Flash that look abominably ass.
What? you just like that is like the ugliest looking movie start to finish, bro.
Hey, let me say before y'all get on a Flash.
Yes, yeah. We gotta rein it in, Jay.
Let me say one positive thing about Supergirl from what Norm just said. One scene I really liked. I was just grasping at straws. One
Sure.
scene I really liked was when Ruthie leaves Kara to go get some water or whatever, or just to look at the brigands before she gets kidnapped. She puts the suit in front of her, and then Kara's like, or Ruthie says something about like, "Oh, I saw this in your ship. I thought you would need it." And
Yeah.
Kara's like, "It doesn't do anything." And I liked that concept that this kid sees this colorful suit and is like, "Oh, she needs this." And Kara looks at it and is like, "That's not gonna help me." But in the end, she puts it on anyways. You like y'all see what I like?
She
This movie
If you're
could have
nothing without
been
the suit, you
that.
shouldn't have it.
what
No, for real.
That's what I
think
thought
this
of.
like I think this movie genuinely that could have been interesting. Like how a kid sees a hero and what a hero has to do to live up to those expectations. Like it's there, but they just choose not to do anything with it.
Yeah.
there's really no reason at the end of the movie for her to like put on the suit. It's like
No,
kind of completely
none,
unprompted.
none, none. And
Um,
if it executed well, it would be for Ruthie. You would know she's doing it for her.
yeah,
I would say to make toys, but
That
McFarlane
as
toys.
well.
Well,
That as well.
McFarlane famously does not make woman toys. So
Ah, okay.
um,
uh,
so
I did have these two questions I wanted to ask.
go
Yes.
go for it.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay. Again, kind of somewhat long-winded, but I didn't hear Norm's opinion on this. We are getting it's gonna be a big year for DC next year. We get a
Mhm.
Superman movie, we get a Batman movie. Different universes, I guess.
And then we get 800 years of pain and suffering. But
Right. If Man of Tomorrow doesn't hit, or if it's like if it has a mixed reaction, but the Batman Part Two does well, why are we not just giving it all to Matt Reeves? Please tell me why
I
you wouldn't or would want that.
I don't think he wants it.
I don't think he would do it. Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. I have to double check. I'm pretty sure he was probably up for it when Gunn took the job. Todd Phillips was, which makes me think there's no way that
Ooh.
Matt Reeves wasn't. Yeah. So you think we dodged the freaking kryptonite bullet? Yeah.
They were giving this job to anybody.
They really were.
Fuck.
I mean, like, yeah, no disrespect to Gunn, but they really were.
Shit.
But I don't think Reeves wants to. I mean, I don't know. We have been kind of dodging around the future of the DC stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to say straight up,
We can get into it.
this movie not doing well, I don't think changes anything.
Nope.
I don't think at all. I'm glad we agree on that. I don't think like this is a
I
time
think
for
that's what
crisis. I don't
I
think
think
James Gunn's losing sleep.
I slightly disagree, but it's not because of the box office. It's how it's not even that this movie is mid or bad to people. It's how it's bad. It's the lies along the way. It's the we don't trust our source material. We don't trust our character that we're making the titular character. It's that stuff where I'm like, then why is this your second step? I don't think DCU is gonna be gone like in 5 years, but this
It is,
mistake
but
feels wrong. You could be right. This mistake feels like different than like just a bad like you just messed up. Like this feels like, oh, you just continuously messed up until a finished product came out.
so I think when all this James Gunn stuff is over, we're gonna get a bunch of articles about how they were throwing shit at the wall and seeing
Just
what was
winging
sticking.
it.
That's
Yep,
what it felt
yep.
like for a while.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think this was the only movie that was close to being in a state to where they could get it out after Superman. I don't think this was the original step 2, if I totally remember right.
Not sure.
Um, all this stuff switches up. I've been saying this to Max for a really long time before this movie came out, before we knew how terribly it would do. Like you can't do the whole universe thing and not have Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman.
I'm gonna take it
And I
a
think
step further, but finish your point. Yeah.
um I just think like these and James Gunn announced like the Authority, that's never happening. Like that Booster Gold show, that's
Never.
never happening.
No.
I think he came in and wanted to do all this stuff. Kind of realized like, shit, we need to make money. Also, just
I
like
mean,
comic book movies
he
are.
started with Creature Commandos, bro. Like this is who we're
Yeah,
working with.
yeah. I
This
mean,
is the guy.
that's the issue. Like, it's the guy who made Guardians of the Galaxy, which was like the risk of a lifetime for Marvel.
In fairness to him on the Creature Commandos thing, I believe that was a holdover from the last regime
for sure.
that he had to finish. So it wasn't like, I think he probably radically changed it along the way, but I think
Yeah.
that was already being made
That
when
makes
he got
sense.
there.
That
But-
makes sense.
Yeah, like you can't give a character, like, no disrespect to Supergirl, you can't like make a $200 million Supergirl movie and think you're gonna make a return on that. Superman barely crossed even. Okay,
Yep.
I know they said it was a great success, but that's not the ride home that everyone thought it was gonna be. The Batman made more than it. The Batman 2 is gonna make more than Superman 2, and both of
It
these
is.
movies.
It is.
So I just think it's not going to be this wide, expansive DC cinematic universe. I just think it's going to be like DC superhero movies that connect. But it's not going to be like we're going to have 3 movies a year. Like, it'll just be the big stuff. It'll be Wonder Woman. It'll be if Lanterns is really good, which I honestly think it will be. That'll probably get a season 2 or hopefully even a movie. But I think this kind of C-list, just putting stuff out to put stuff out, has to go. Unless you do Clayface and you do a really small budget. And I'm not
Joker.
super excited for that movie, but I think there's a way better chance of it doing well than this movie ever had.
Mm-hmm. I think that movie
Agreed.
will do well. I would take you in like even a step further on that point and say that their whole announcement of like James Gunn's new DC universe and James Gunn saying like, oh, we're going to do this whole universe and there's going to be movies and TV shows and video games, he said, was part of the announcement in the initial thing, which is never going to happen probably. But you can't just come out the gate and say you're doing a universe. I don't think you can do that. I think you can say, like, when you look back at what the Marvel experiment was, that was like, we're making Iron Man and like it's basically an independent film. Like we're really scrapping it together to get this Iron Man movie made, and then we'll throw in some breadcrumbs for the next movie, and then you make the Hulk. Doesn't go as well. You throw in some breadcrumbs. Tony Stark shows up at the end of that, and you kind of build towards something, and you don't like shoot your wad immediately and say like, oh, we're going to have this big overarching story, because there's no interest yet. You didn't make anything. And I think that is the core issue with a lot of the way that movies are made nowadays, and that is not anything that people at the studio level can probably control. They do this all for shareholders, and that so we have these conversations. That is why they do these things. There are only 2 successful cinematic universes on record, and both of them did the same thing in that they kind of did one movie, did okay, do the next movie, you build, and you get to your crossover. Those 2 cinematic universes are the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Godzilla King Kong universe, the Monsterverse. Those are the only 2 successful cinematic universes on record in the history of the business. So to come out and do this whole, we're going to do a big universe thing, it's like a humiliation ritual. It's obviously going to fail in the way that you're presenting it initially. I don't think that this is destined to fail in any capacity. Like, I think they could kind of like get something together and make something work, but it's not going to look like how they presented it initially. So to come out and do your whole thing, I'm just going to read you guys what was in that initial James Gunn announcement real quick, because so much of it is just probably not going to happen. I mean,
before you read it, or I guess you kind of answered. When they announced this, did y'all think this was all actually happening? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, when this was announced, I was like, no way. I didn't even think the Batman thing would happen.
It all felt very like for shareholders, and it was,
which
like,
AKA is never gonna happen. Like,
exactly.
I never thought there was actually gonna be an authority movie on the big screen.
So go
ahead.
In the initial announcement, it was Creature Commandos, which we got season 1, Waller, which was going to be an Amanda Waller show with
Oh, that
Viola
shit
Davis.
pissed me off, dude.
Yep.
That idea pissed me off.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
and that was
go
going
ahead.
to see
Waller
her
and
teaming up.
Economos, who wants it?
Yeah, it was going to see her teaming up with the Team Peacemaker group. I'm quoting James Gunn there. Who knows what characters from Peacemaker were going to show up in that. Then Superman
All of our
Legacy.
favorites.
Awful title. I'm so glad they went with Superman. Then
Forgot about that.
Lanterns, HBO show with a True Detective influence. That looks like it's coming out, but it's been delayed pretty significantly. It was supposed to come out way earlier. Then we have The Authority, which in that video James Gunn said was a passion project of his, and he said it was going to be a big movie where they interact with all of the primary DC characters.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro. Like, I was super excited about this when this all got announced and stuff because, like, I love those Guardians movies. But the second he said I'm making an Authority movie, I was like, no, you're not.
It sounds like some bullshit.
It's like, what am I supposed to get excited for? Like, I know this isn't coming out.
Yeah.
Why would you announce that? Like that's like doing the D23 thing before Guardians 1 and be like, we're doing a Guardians movie.
We're doing a Guardians
cares?
movie before we announce like a Spider-Man or like an Iron. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, before,
that Comic-Con culture that kind of came out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe only really picked up steam after the first Avengers movie, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think so. Yeah.
When they
That's just
started
when-
doing like, here's phase 2 and phase 3 and like,
Yes.
you know, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when you do this, it's kind of like, like there's not a lot of this is going to come out. I'm not even finished with the list. Paradise Lost, Game of
that was
Thrones
a good one.
inspired
That was
show.
a good one.
that was
Y'all
that was
didn't
going
watch
to be
that?
that I didn't watch that. No,
It made
it
no
wasn't.
way,
It was it.
bro.
What was it on? Was it on HBO? James Gunn Plus?
Quibi.
Quibi. Okay, Quibi original.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paradise Lost. Yes, of
Mhm.
course.
Wow.
Wow. That was going to be a Game of Thrones show on Themyscira
About
with
the
Wonder Woman's
Amazons and all
family,
that.
with the
Yeah,
Amazons, but not with Wonder Woman.
So he
presumably.
recently said this one's still happening.
I can see this one happening though. I actually can. Do I think it's gonna be good? I don't know, but I could, especially because like where they're with WB and Game of Thrones is definitely on its upswing again after Night of the Seven Kingdoms and House of the Dragon. I can see these boardrooms being like, maybe this could get us some money. I can see that.
James
It
Gunn's
is-
pen on a show about an island full of women.
Jesus Christ. No, for real though.
We
You're
good on that,
very
man.
right.
We good on
You're
that.
very right. You're very right.
Next up, it was The Brave and the Bold, based on Grant Morrison's comic run on Batman. It was going to have Damian Wayne and be the beginning of the Bat family. This movie,
This is the shit that pissed me off the
Yeah.
most.
Biggest fucking
actually.
movie ever.
I thought that Waller pissed me off, but no, it was Brave and the Bold. Because to start with Damian Wayne felt like a spit in the face. There's so much Bat history there. And you just start with Damian as Robin? Like that's a lot. That's a lot, bro. That's a
Yeah.
lot to start
This
with.
movie is also being directed by Andy Muschietti of Max's movie he likes, The Flash.
I don't
Right,
like that
right.
That's what I'm
movie.
going to start calling The Flash.
I do not.
That's
Better
his
looking
movie.
movie than Supergirl.
we
apparently.
can't call that my movie. We can't do that.
Hey, people
Black Adam,
love
I'll
Wel-
take. Black Adam, I'll take. I'll
People
claim
loved
that.
Welcome to Derry. So he has some cachet with fan bases.
The
right
first
now.
It
People
movie's
loved Welcome to
fantastic.
Derry.
I don't think he's a
Great.
bad director. I just don't think Batman movie is like. I don't know.
Yeah.
You
I
need
agree.
you need a complete and total auteur to make a Batman movie. Every Batman movie ever has had someone with a very distinct cinematic language.
That's why they're all so different. That's
Yeah,
why if
that's
Ben
why
Affleck would have made one, it would have felt very different too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but like, I mean, everyone hates Snyder, but like Snyder's an auteur by definition. Matt Reeves, Joel Schumacher, even though
Tim
movies don't
Burton.
work. Tim Burton, Christopher Nolan, Andy Muschietti. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
wouldn't
kind of
say
a director
auteur.
for hire guy.
Yeah, and I mean that's what auteur wants to come make a Batman movie. When you have a bunch of people down your neck telling you how to make it, while Matt Reeves is getting 8 years to do whatever he wants with Batman. And
No,
a
for
movie that's
real.
gonna be better that like could like be at the Oscars. It's so you know what I mean.
I mean,
that's getting
that
Scarlett
movie-
Johansson in it,
Bro, Bro, this movie has been delayed for years and no one is worried about it. No one's like, the Batman Part 2 might be. No one's saying that.
It's frustrating, but it's like take your time. Like I'm not mad.
Yes.
I'm just like
Yeah.
Yes.
I
And
just want to see it.
it's because of the Penguin, because I thought the Penguin was going to be ass. But
Mhm.
also,
It was
even people who thought it was going to
fantastic.
even people who thought it was going to be good did not expect that. So now we're like, oh, you can do whatever you want. You got it.
I'm in the same boat. I also was not excited for the Penguin. I even watched the first episode and I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Mhm.
Hooked.
Yep. Same.
Yeah.
Sophia Falcone,
Oh yeah.
save us.
There we go. Next up in that presentation was Booster Gold, which was going to be a show. Nothing on that.
The show.
I don't think that's happening.
So. And
I don't think
this
we're
is
getting a Booster
this
Gold
is when I
anything.
gave up on James Gunn. This show, apparently Danny McBride was writing it, who has made some of the best shows ever for my money.
Mhm.
And apparently he just, I don't know if he was talking about Danny McBride specifically. You can look this up because this doesn't sound real. James Gunn said the person who was making the show essentially just didn't feel like doing it, like didn't want to, like didn't care anymore. So that
Who the fuck are you hiring? How do you even get in that position?
I don't know. He likes hiring like his friends.
Yes.
I mean,
That's
obvious,
the problem. And I
that's-
noticed that in Peacemaker season 2, all these castings, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Why is this
like,
guy
these
here?
It's like the most forced thing ever.
You
Man.
could even talk about that in relation to this movie. I'm not sure how. I looked it up. The writer of this movie.
I've been waiting. This is like the one thing I'm waiting to talk about this whole episode. But yeah,
The writer of this movie is Ana Nogueira, and she has one other credit on her IMDb, writing credit, and it's not. I don't even know if it's a feature film.
it's not.
So I'm open. Like if you have an awesome script, like you should be able to jump up to that level and kind of like make something big. Like I'm not opposed to that idea, like fresh faces in the room.
But she got hired to write this movie.
Yes. And everything James Gunn has been saying is, in this presentation that we're referring to from 2023, he says, storytelling is king. That's all that matters to us. We're not going to go into making a movie until we have a finished script that that everybody loves in the room. How, like you sound like an insane person now that we've seen Supergirl.
Or a liar.
What, like, how
This
did you
woman
go
is
with this?
writing
How
two
is she
upcoming
writing
DC
this?
movies too? By the way, this woman is writing Wonder Woman right now, and she's writing a treatment for Teen Titans. I don't
See, that's where we're going.
release the Gun Files, bro. How did this woman get hired? Where did she come from?
Maybe Anna is a
Jay
great.
knows what I'm saying. I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, I hear you because you know what's crazy? Because Peacemaker season 2, they were giving his wife a lot of screen time. And I was thinking, hey, she's bodying this shit though. She's the best actress in the cast. But why? And now we're starting to see how he kind of just plays favorites when he wants. And even if the like in Peacemaker season 2, I was thinking like she's killing this shit. It's really cool. But why should I care? Why do I care about this character? Why does she
Where's
matter?
Batman? Where's Wonder Woman?
Where are the people that actually matter? It does
Please.
feel like that, where it's like he kind of uses, which is so sad because it almost seemed like he was the savior from The Rock, but he's doing the same thing The Rock is doing, where he's just kind of using the DC label to do what he wants to do, not what actually makes this property better.
Yeah, I mean, he does. He's that's relationships can take you one of two ways. I mean, you especially in this role, like you probably have to be a little cutthroat to do this very well.
Yes.
And that involves, maybe telling people you love that
Getting rid of
they're
Frank
not
Grillo.
writing Supergirl.
Getting rid of Frank
Getting rid
Grillo,
of Rick
bro.
Flag Senior, bro. I seen everything.
The worst, bro. That was the first real domino for me where I was like, he doesn't look like the guy from Creature Commandos, and that pisses me off. You can act like, but the die and he had other. You're not trying. You're not trying
Hey,
anymore.
well, good news for you. He's the only character from that show we will ever see in live action. I love that they do this
Yeah,
thing.
no,
I
yeah,
love that they
yeah.
do this thing with the anime stuff, and they're playing like Tom King's working on a New God series, right?
Mm,
Animated, and he's like,
mm.
everyone will play the live action character. Like we're ever going to see the New Gods in live action,
Yeah,
unless we see
you
like
you can
Darkseid
just
in the
say
Jimmy
that.
Olsen show. We
Yeah.
haven't. I don't think we've ever talked about the Jimmy Olsen show on this show.
Can we not talk
That's
about
one
the
of,
Jimmy Olsen show?
but
Sorry,
I mean,
sorry,
that's
sorry,
one of,
sorry. The Jimmy Olsen Gorilla Grodd show.
yes,
That's bullshit, dude.
that's one of the only things that's seemingly in development is the Jimmy Olsen show, which, you know, again, it kind of goes to this whole thing about like, is James Gunn the right guy to be like the head of this whole thing? Because that seems like a show that would be in it, like very much within his sensibilities and something he would be interested in. But is that what should be like the third or fourth thing
Why
in
can't
this
why
whole
can't he
thing?
just control Superman? Like, hey, bro, like you just do your thing here. My problem is that like I think
I don't
we're
know because that gives
seeing
us Supergirl. So
yes. I think we're seeing in real time though that like this is why you need a Kevin Feige. You need a guy who can talk to creatives and
Zack
move shit
Snyder.
around. No, no, no. Because Zack
Try to
Snyder's
sneak
part of
that
the
in
problem
there.
too. I think Zack Snyder, James Gunn, they exist in the same way where it's like you are both creators and people trying to be creative directors. You're trying to hover over people with your vision while you are actively making films. The difference with Feige is that he's able to be cutthroat, be able to be, oh, we need this to look like this, look like that, but he's not then making his own shit where he then make like. I think there's gonna be something where it's gonna be harder for him to get directors when it's like, bro, like you can make a
Mhm.
Superman movie and people like that, but then people will hate Craig Gillespie now because he made a Supergirl movie, but you were hovering all over that. So I feel
I
like
Craig's
that's
already
part
throwing
of
him under
the
the bus. Like
exactly. Like we're seeing it in real time.
that's I think so. We talked about Sergeant Rock, which is all but canceled, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Who wrote that?
yes. The Luca Guadagnino film
That's
with
I remember
Daniel.
I told Max, in what world is Luca Guadagnino, who's not even one of my personal favorite directors, but he's such a grip on people. Or he's a
he's
great
known as a
director.
great
He's
filmmaker.
known as a great
He
filmmaker.
is, yeah,
In
yeah.
what world is he taking notes from James Gunn?
See,
What are you saying to me? Like
here
real shit.
Like,
Get out, get off of the set, bro.
I made Queer and you made Supergirl. Like that's
Yeah, we're not in the same. We're
yeah.
not doing the same thing.
That's my thing with the.
I think it's the kind of thing where like James Gunn is obviously a fan of these characters and a lot of these DC movies. I think it's the
Is he?
exact kind of thing where like you know like I'm a Mavs fan and like I think you know you get into 2K My GM and you think you can run the team and then you know hear any of these GMs talk and it sounds like way fucking harder than it actually is. I think that James Gunn took this job and kind of banked on the idea that like, oh, if I just turn over creative, like offer to turn over creative control to really high profile filmmakers that want to make Sergeant Rock and new Batman movies and stuff like and new Wonder Woman and whatnot. And I think he has been proven wrong because they've tried to get Luca Guadagnino. There's been other people that have been in the mix, like high profile filmmakers that have been in the mix for DC movies that they probably reached out to and didn't really receive much feedback from, I would imagine. And
I just personally, I'm just looking at this cover.
uh-huh.
I just personally don't believe that James Gunn couldn't have sat down with some female director, gave them this book, and been like, "You can do anything you want with this." I don't believe that that there isn't a woman director out there that like even like Max, you and me were on the same page with this movie as far as like this could have been a cultural moment.
I
It could have
totally
been
agree
so
with
much
y'all in that
like
sense. By the way,
so much bigger than just a movie coming out in the summer. Like in the fact to not even try is just so it says so much about how like James Gunn's cultural awareness on top of the way he interacts with the internet, the way that he interacts with people, and the way that he lies to the public just to appease people and hypes up things that shouldn't be hyped and all of that is just it goes to show a lack of cultural awareness at this time when it's so critical.
Yeah, it's the core issue with Supergirl, I believe. Like we have
Yes.
all talked about this in some capacity, but I believe that we are in the midst of a genuine crisis when it comes to female-led storytelling in the comic book
It's
world.
awful right now. Some of the worst it's ever
It's
been.
not. I mean, it's not like when has it ever been good for women in big budget comic book movies? It's never. I mean, like it.
No, you're right about that.
I mean, Norman, you're raising your eyebrows. What
Oh, I
was the?
just meant Wonder Woman.
Oh, well, I mean, that was the one thing.
No, I know.
Wonder Woman
Yeah.
was
And
big
I don't
though.
even.
That was really
I think
big
that movie's
when it came out.
fine. Like
That was Stratosphere, yeah.
like
We
it's.
we
I
can
think-
do the superhero win conversation.
Uh-huh.
We can do that. But I am curious on what your guys' top 3 women-led superhero films would be
Oh, there are more than
after
3?
watching
Yeah.
after watching Supergirl. I'm just curious on like how y'all would rank. Obviously, it wouldn't be in either of y'all's top 3 or mine, but how would you even rank that considering how we view superheroines in this culture?
I honestly hate most of them. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that Ant-Man and the Wasp and Black Widow are like unmitigated trash. Like those movies are awful. And I think this movie is in that same boat. I really do. I think The Marvels was really fun, and that
Mhm.
movie is directed by Nia DaCosta, who is a great director. And I don't know. It's just like that's really the only instance I can point to where somebody who was a really good director and was appropriate for the material they were adapting made one of these. And it's the only good one in my opinion. That's not a popular opinion though. I'm in the minority there. Most people won't agree with that.
I
But-
totally agree with you. I quite enjoy that movie.
It's fun. It has
but
its
even at that
issues.
sense, yeah, it's fun. Like there's still a ton of issues, and they're not.
think The Marvels
Nia
is
DaCosta's
okay.
fault.
I think the Marvels is okay. I've never hated the Marvels. I
Mm-hmm.
hated Captain Marvel when I first walked out of it, but over time, I don't think that movie's that bad. I think
I
I
think
think
the
it's
Captain
pretty
Marvel-
inoffensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've always
I
kind
agree.
of enjoyed it. I never got the sense that like this was the really really bad superhero movie.
I think
that people
Captain
would tell
Marvel
me
is.
the-
Sorry. Captain
you're good.
Marvel is definitely better than Supergirl. I will say that. Like, Captain Marvel is a better
yeah.
film than Supergirl for sure.
Oh, yeah.
pretty close.
I think so.
I would say it's better. And
Max,
they-
let me ask
again,
you,
Yep.
or I guess Jay as well.
Mhm.
You taking Wonder Woman 84 over Supergirl?
Yeah.
No, I'm not taking Wonder Woman 84 over
Come on,
Supergirl.
Max.
Wonder Woman
movie's
84
like-
is garbage. That
It's-
movie is
it's-
really bad.
It's really awful. At least like it's well lit.
Not really. The third act in that looks worse than the third act.
It's
in
at
Supergirl.
Yeah,
least
the third
at
act in
least
that is awful.
let me
That's
let
like
me
the
rephrase. Let me
ugliest third
rephrase. At least it's lit. Like at least there
Yeah.
are lights on the
Yeah.
set.
I didn't have this issue during Supergirl.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because I survived Game of Thrones, but
Yeah, House of the Dragon. I quit
I
too.
did too.
I quit House of the Dragon for the same reason.
House of the Dragon is that I'm kind of just watching it despite, yeah. So maybe our eyes have just adjusted.
I thought the action you couldn't see what was going on. But that was just I felt like just terrible action
They,
directing.
they just
Also,
put
they
up
did
all the
they-
fucking Shang-Chi
two-
smoke.
2 times they did the let's focus on something else while the action happens in the back, which they do in Superman also, like we talked about earlier with Lois and Mr. Terrific.
I'm going to say my hot take
Uh-huh.
about a woman-led superhero film. And I already know it's going to get hate, and I don't care. It's not my favorite. I would probably put Wonder Woman there. Even that's such a low bar. But I really
There's
like
not
Birds
many of these
Prey.
movies to pick from.
Ooh,
Like,
that's one. That's
I
one.
like
Wait, what was
Birds
it?
of
What was
Prey.
it? What'd you
I
say?
like Birds
Yeah,
of Prey.
that's gotta be
Oh,
one.
yeah, that
Birds of Prey
movie's
was
solid.
That movie was fun.
That's
And
got to be
people
number
let that-
one.
People just let that shit come and go, but I had a lot of fun with Birds of Prey.
Mhm.
That was a fun movie. But yeah, it's we were supposed to get a Batgirl film, and where did that go?
They deleted that for tax reasons.
That's still the craziest
kidding.
thing ever.
Yeah, you can't even talk about that movie.
That movie,
And
yeah.
they didn't delete the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said we gotta
Also,
pick one.
I would like to drudge up the fact that James Gunn is one of the people that said that the Flash was, and I quote, I looked this up to make sure. He did say that the Flash was one of the best comic book movies.
Okay.
ever made.
He was about to get a job.
He was already in charge when he said that.
I know. Like,
Okay,
what else is he
yeah.
gonna say?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to gas it up that much. Like that's crazy.
does.
It's like one of the greatest
He's the
superhero
head of
movies
the
ever.
studio. He has to
We
prove
just
to
need to-
his shareholders that he can try and get these movies that he didn't even have anything to do with.
We just need to not take his ass seriously ever again. Let's just when he makes movies, that's when we can take what he's saying seriously.
He's a good
But
filmmaker.
I'm not even saying like his interview. I'm saying like the movie itself. We can take that as this is James Gunn talking. But when he talks on the internet, we do not need to listen to him because everything he says is bullshit. It really
Yeah.
is.
I think a lot of people are addicted to their phones, and he's definitely one of them. So yeah.
I think I forgot to bring this up earlier. This stuff I just remember this. But we were talking about what directors are going to take notes from him. Todd Phillips wouldn't take notes from him on Joker 2.
No.
And apparently James was a little salty. Apparently, like James Gunn sent him a ton of notes. This was in the Hollywood Reporter after that movie came out, and they were just playing blame game. But apparently, Todd Phillips was like, "No, I don't want your notes."
That's honestly beast mode though. When you watch that movie and look at what it is,
Bro.
I think we may have been wrong about that movie, bro.
I'm gonna be on a podcast next month called Bad Movie Debates, and I chose Joker 2 or Joker Follow Your Due to talk about it.
Yeah,
I don't hate that film. I do
it's
think
interesting.
it's so flawed, but
better than the first one.
It kind of is.
It is.
It kind of is better than the first one.
It is.
Bro, I feel like that movie gets a lot of hate because it's saying something that people don't like to hear. I really think that's what, like, people are like, oh, you're gonna kill my Joker, you're gonna call Joker a pussy. It's like, he kind of is though. Like when you think about the character and what he chooses to do with his time, it's like this isn't a role model. But I think those types of films, like the Jokers, the American Psychos, the Marty Supremes, it's like people would just find any way to just project themselves onto a bum-ass character. Like a character who just has they only want to destruct. And I think Joker 2 is trying to speak on that in some interesting way. So
I agree. I think that movie was interesting. One of the first movies we did on this podcast.
I gotta watch that episode.
The last thing that was announced on this James Gunn whole thing.
Sorry, we totally cut you.
It's
off
all
there.
good. No. It's the tangents are good. But the last thing on the docket for James Gunn on that announcement on January 31st, 2023 was Swamp Thing, which he said was going to be a very dark horror story and an origin story of the character Swamp Thing. Now, there has been no motion on this movie. James Mangold was rumored to be doing it at one point. It seems like this movie is like not happening. However, they kind of threw Clayface in there, and that seems to have kind of filled this, dark horror origin story of a DC character slot. It kind of seems like a similar thing, like to what they were trying to do with Swamp Thing.
I read the Alan Moore Swamp Thing run. I love that story. That made me a Swamp Thing fan. That's my favorite DC character now. It used to be Batman, but that run made me a Swamp Thing stan. I love that character. I'm very happy that there have been no news, no noise on that becoming a thing because I'm fine with them doing the Swamp Thing stuff. Like I think that's cool. But I've heard them be like, oh, we want to do the Alan Moore. And I'm like, please don't touch that. Please do not do that, bro. Especially after what you just did.
Good news for
Norm, please.
James Mangold isn't doing this till he finishes his Star Wars movie. So he'll never be doing this.
We have time.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little while.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
You know what? Sorry, one more Slate thing. And one of James' classic lies. Everyone, y'all know how there's no animated Wonder Woman show, just ever.
Yeah.
Isn't that just kind of crazy?
I agree.
And 3 years ago, yeah, it's like you don't think about it when you do. 3 years ago, someone tweeted at him about it, and he was like, "I know, I feel the same way. It's one of the first things I'm doing here." Instead, we're getting Absolute Batman Show. We're getting My Adventures with Jessica Cruz. We're getting
We're getting a
there's-
Jessica
I mean,
Cruz show.
it's
We got-
the
I mean,
it's
Woman.
like the My yeah.
Yeah, the My
gotta-
Adventures. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I gotta
it's
tap
cool.
in, but My Adventures with Superman is on right now, season 3.
I gotta go.
Yeah,
People like that show, and I
I
watched
like
the
that
first
show.
season.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
watched the
solid.
first season. It's pretty cool. It's
Mhm.
a solid show.
Mhm.
I think Jack
Um,
Quaid has a really good voice for Superman.
Yeah, he's good.
surprisingly.
He's
He's
good.
awesome. Yeah, like being a DC
Did-
fan sucks, but specifically being a Wonder Woman fan, bro.
Oh yeah,
For
that
the
has to be an
game
awful existence.
cancellation.
Yeah.
Are you like caught up on DC comics?
No, not really.
I'm
not
pretty
really.
sure. Okay, well, spoiler for whatever Tom King
Yeah, yeah.
Wonder Woman thing going on right now. I'm pretty sure Tom King made her kill herself.
Okay.
All
That's what's
right.
going over there.
There simply need to be more women in the room. I think in all cases with these movies, but especially with these female-led movies, obviously, because that is the whole perspective. The whole thing about movies is they are, someone's perspective. Like that is why movies are cool.
That's why I harp
Like-
so much on like the woman director thing, because I would have just, even if the movie was ass, if you just full sent on like, we want a moment. We want women to come out to this film, even if it sucked, even if I didn't like Barbie that much, but I can respect what the moment was. And I feel
Yeah.
like I just wish that Supergirl was allowed a moment, because it could have been.
Yeah, I mean the movie had to be a lot better than this.
Who
Yes.
decided to put this out against Toy Story and Minions? Also,
Yeah. It's going to get fucking annihilated. It's already opened
Yes.
in second place to Toy Story.
No, it's over.
38
over.
million domestic, $68 million global for this in opening weekend. Second to Toy Story 5.
worse opening than Morbius.
Holy
Ugh.
shit.
Oh, that's bad. That's
Worse
really
than The Flash.
bad.
Worse than Morbius.
The Flash had
Uh,
hype though. The Flash had some hype around it.
It was just Max and Stephen King.
Tom Cruise too. Tom
and
Cruise.
Tom Cruise, man.
Ew. Man.
Yeah. I think that this, kind of cements the idea that we're not in the old era of movies, like where you could release like Ant-Man and the Wasp and it was going to like make like $500 million no matter what.
Yeah.
It's effectively over because these superhero movies are bombing left and right. I mean, we've seen it with mainly Marvel in the early 2020s with their struggles.
Every Marvel movie last year.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been able to get back on the train there. And DC
They'll
is
be
kind
okay
of
this year.
struggling to do so
Spider-Man's
as well.
gonna be huge.
I mean, Spider-Man's
Avengers,
obviously
bro.
going to be huge because that movie's probably going to be pretty good. But we have Doomsday coming up. And Norman and I saw a Doomsday leak. Jay, did you see this Doomsday leak?
I did not.
Really rough. Like I took this in our draft at the beginning of the year.
I like number
And
3, I should mention. By
Number
the way.
two. Number two.
Mm.
I'm even at the time, bro. I was like, bro, you are smoking straight dick right now.
I am really worried
I
about
shouldn't have
Doomsday,
said
and
that.
I don't.
That's not podcast appropriate. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, I was clearly, but it.
Was this like an all movies draft? Like Dune was on there, Odyssey.
Yep.
I took
I
Odyssey at
picked-
number 1.
Yeah, Norman picked Odyssey. I picked Dune 1, and then on the turnaround, I took Doomsday. I took Dune and Doomsday at the same time.
Because
I
he
mean,
thought I was going to steal Doomsday. And I was like,
I kind of get the logic, but yeah, Doomsday that's a weird film.
well, he also let Spider-Man drop to like 8, which is when
Yeah,
I took it.
I would have chose Spider-Man over Doomsday, because I think Spider-Man's probably going to be $1 billion film.
Crazy value at 8.
Or it was at 7, yeah, but still.
Okay.
So I think when we look at the totality of the
I took
superhero
Supergirl, though.
thing, yeah, that didn't go
At
well.
14,
I took some rough ones too. So guys, I'm gonna ask the simple question. That James Gunn, this has been his job for the last couple of years, is rehabilitating the image of DC. are the days of DC playing catch up with Marvel Studios over, or have we evened it out? What's happening here?
I think Marvel Studios just like tripped and fell. I wouldn't say DC caught up.
Yes.
I think Marvel Studios tripped and fell. I think they're back up now.
Yeah, I think we're actively seeing the get up animation from Marvel. Like they're dusting off their knees. They are getting into the running motion. Like
Here's a
yeah.
bold prediction. DC, you know how last year DC Superman outgrossed all the Marvel movies, right?
hmm
That's it. That's never happening again. There's never going to be another year where DC beats Marvel.
Yeah, they go
that was the one time.
They go 1 year. That's
And it
the
was like a
only
movie
time
that
this
made
century.
$500 million. Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Because I never thought about that. But I think Doomsday is going to be bad. I think Doomsday is going to be like really tough, honestly.
For sure.
That's my prediction. And I think that's going to really affect Secret Wars. I think it's still going to be a successful movie, but it's going to affect how people go into Secret Wars.
If Doomsday,
I think the Batman Part 2 is going to be very successful. So I oddly think that if there's a movie that could beat a Marvel movie next year,
if it was ever going to be, it would be that, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, Spider-Verse is supposed to come out next year. So that could be...
Oh, yeah.
That could sneak
that could easily sneak. Yeah, you're right.
What is the MCU movie next year? Secret Wars and that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all they've announced, right?
Yeah, and
it's too late to put a movie. I think after it's going to be Black Panther and
Black
X-Men,
Panther 3.
Yeah, Black Panther 3 and probably X-Men, but that probably won't be until
Right.
2028, I guess.
There's just way more interest in those other movies that y'all said. The Batman Part 2, Man of Tomorrow, and the Spider-Verse thing. Way more
awesome.
way more public interest.
Spider-Verse
there.
is a sleeper because Spider-Verse is huge. Like even with all the Shamik Moore, the delays.
Oh, that's nothing. I mean,
yeah, Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to go crazy in views.
Yeah.
Those are at the end of the day, those are like kids' movies too. I mean, all superhero movies are. Sorry, even like Deadpool's a kids' movie to an extent, but. Like the Spider-Verse thing, it's like these kids don't know it's getting delayed. They don't know who should make more.
They don't give a damn about none of that shit. Yeah.
I would be shocked if there's a single person on this earth who was like, I was going to see that movie, but Shamir Moore is a fucking freak. Like I would get it, but
yeah, it's a little unnecessary.
Yeah. So, yeah.
To answer your question though directly, I think DC will always think about that. I think Marvel stopped thinking about that a long time ago, and I don't think they will ever care again because of how bad DC has boxed it every time.
Yeah,
I think even like they knew this movie wasn't going to do well. Like Feige, he's sending over his little congratulations on Superman. It was so good. Good luck next year.
No, for real. Yeah.
I mean, when I see people bring this up that like, oh, when talking about Supergirl in the context of like the whole DC universe thing, it's like, oh well, the movie after Iron Man, nobody talks about how that was the Incredible Hulk now, like they had some missteps too. Again,
Not the same.
They were not talking like like the DC people are talking, where like there's like everything is riding on this, and like these movies have to do well, and there has to be a ton of interest immediately. That just wasn't a thing back then. Like they were like, oh, we're gonna make Incredible Hulk because that seems like the natural progression. We'll just do that.
Imagine if Feige came out and was like, we're making a cinematic universe starting with Iron Man, and then they do Incredible Hulk, and then they recast Bruce Banner. That doesn't work the same. A main character like that, if you're like, oh, we have this cinematic universe already planned out, but now we're changing our casting. Like, there's a reason why that movie exists in the way it does. It's why it was like the second or like the lowest box office Marvel movie before something else happened. Like,
I think, part of it is obviously that it was birthed from like Iron Man was birthed from like smaller beginnings. Like it was a movie that was made like at Paramount, and a lot of those early Marvel movies were made at Paramount, and then Disney takes over at some point during phase 1. And then the corporatization of the whole thing just sort of like takes over. And when Disney owns Marvel, it becomes the thing that we're all accustomed to, where it's, big Hall H presentations with like slates that never come to fruition. I mean, Marvel's been the best about it, like, but even some of their stuff.
What y'all think of that Inhumans movie?
Yeah, I like shit like that. Like, exactly.
Or
I mean,
Blade. Blade
even-
was awesome, guys.
even the things that do
Man,
come
yeah, I
out.
loved that movie so much.
Like-
Mahershala Ali
man,
did
he
such a
still
great
got it.
job. Did such a great job.
Oh, speaking of that though, the your mother trailer. You see that?
I
Bang.
haven't seen the trailer. I
So
just saw the thumbnail.
Mahershala and the guy who was originally going to direct Blade in its first iteration went off and made just a separate like real ass action movie.
Good for them. Good
Yeah.
for them.
It's-
Fuck yeah.
It looks
fuck
great,
Disney.
And it looks
too.
awesome,
It looks
too. Like, it looks
fantastic.
really
It's a great
good.
trailer.
Like-
Okay, cool. I'm gonna try to not watch the trailer and just enjoy the film. But yeah,
Yeah.
fuck Disney for doing that. Remember when Wesley Snipes and Deadpool Wolverine's like they're only gonna be one blade? Like,
Oh
why would
yeah.
That was terrible. That
if
was
I
really
would- that
gross.
would- yeah.
Why would you put that in the movie, dog?
I laughed at it like the first time I saw it, but if I was Mahershala Ali, I'd be pissed.
I'd be
I would be like,
pissed
"What the
off.
fuck?"
I'd be like, bet, and just leave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
bet. I will never
Yeah.
come back here.
I'll go make that Jurassic World money. Like, what are we doing?
Exactly, and that's why
Yeah.
he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah.
We're in
Uh,
a weird time with superhero stuff.
For all of the superhero
we're
stuff.
in the end times with it
It's
all.
fall of
I
empire
do-
shit, man.
Yeah, no, for real. We're seeing the collapse of this in real time, and it's funny, it's absurd, and a little sad.
It just feels like it's most like it just feels so pathetic from Marvel and DC, kind of.
Yeah.
It feels like they're for the first time ever both on their hands and knees.
Yeah.
And you know, like I'm not talking about the Batman 2 or Spider-Verse, but
Those are
they-
outliers at this point.
those are
Those-
total outliers, and those are the movies that we'll be talking about in 30 years. The way we talk about the Raimi movies, the way we talk about the Burton movies or the Christopher Reeves movies.
I think
Yes.
you're bringing up a good point though, because you know, we're seeing the fall of superhero movies as we're seeing the rise of interest in fresh original takes on IP that hasn't been, you know, made into a movie before, and also interesting takes on IP that's been around forever, whether it be the Batman or Spider-Verse or something like that, or even, you know, Superman. I think that movie is, you know, kind of slots in with those movies. I don't think it's as good as the Spider-Verse or the Batman thing, but I think those movies all represent a fresher take on the stuff that we've kind of been used to getting for the last 10 years, but it's just a lot better. It's very filmmaker driven, and there's a lot of care and focus on making these as good as they can be. They don't feel like conveyor belt trash like a lot of these other comic book movies do. And I think that's what is really driving interest at the movies these days. We've talked a bunch of times, Norman, about how the box office is going nuts this year. I mean, Disclosure Day didn't even, like, it was kind of like it overperformed in the first week, and then, you know, we're kind of coming back to earth.
Leave
on
her
that
out of
one.
this, thank you.
Y'all
What'd you
liked
say?
I did.
y'all liked Disclosure Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
like
I
it.
didn't. I was kind of on it, but you know, it just didn't really work for me. But even a movie like that is like making its money. Like, you know, I think it's around 150 mil global now. Like, it feels like, you know, nature is healing to some extent. Also, anecdotally, another like nature is healing moment. The other day, Norman, I don't know how your experience was, but when I went to Barnes and Noble for the Criterion sale the other day, there was a shitload of people in there just looking at movies and shit.
No, not at mine. I went to
Okay.
I went to one. I guess it wasn't really like in Austin. It was one like Slaughter, kind of on the way out.
Mhm.
There was a book signing going on, so most people were there for that.
Mm.
But I got a bunch of Criterions, and the lady was just saying like Killers of the Flower Moon. Like so many people were buying that the
Yeah.
other day or whatever. Which is cool. I agree.
Yeah.
We
So,
talked
yeah,
about this way longer than I expected.
Yeah.
I
I
was-
mean, there's so
For
much
the record,
stuff.
I
like-
wanted to talk about Jackass this weekend. That's the only movie I care about right now in theaters.
Did you
Good
even
for
go?
him.
Did you go see it?
I'm gonna go either tomorrow or Tuesday.
Okay.
I hope you enjoy
Maybe
that.
$5 Tuesday. But I think it's supposed to see. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see on
Thank
that
you. I'm
front.
very excited for it. I love these movies to death.
Before we close,
Mhm.
I just want to say, Please go read this book for yourself.
True.
Please, please go read Woman of
True.
Tomorrow yourself. Like, I know that Ruthie may have been annoying to you. I know that Krim looks stupid. That's not the book. That's not the book. So please go read it.
We'll finish there. Great conversation, guys.